broke it. Now it's support. So if we still want to try to get in on this trade and ride the move up to 23 fib, okay, we want to enter back here when the market comes down to test the broken support level. See, so we have our setup, these two bars here, and our trigger will be when the market comes back down to test broken support. Now when we move to the next bar, we see that boom, we zoom up and touch our secondary target level here up at 23% Fibonacci. And now this is important. I said that if you wanted to enter here, you may want to enter here on a pullback. Okay, now this is where sometimes we use our common sense, and also this is part of a technique that many traders always overlook, and that is money management. And so I'll take a quick moment here and just speak a little bit about money management here. Now we're waiting for a pullback to 99.86 for our trigger, but the breakout point here is 99.92. So that's pretty much, that's like a 7 pip difference. Okay, now if we get in at the close of this bar instead of waiting for the pullback, we're only taking an additional 7 pip profit. And so this is where our common sense comes in and tells us that, okay, you know, I think the move is really going to move up here. I really want to get in on it. And then it just comes down to a choice between your two fears, and that is the fear of missing the move or the fear of a loss. And so we would determine here if we are willing to take the additional 7 pip risk here. And in this particular situation, and this is where combining our techniques come in, and I've talked about this in many of the free videos about how, okay, when we look left here, we see all these short sellers here. That's all we have, uninterrupted, from the breakout level all the way up to here. Once price breaks above this level, we have to assume that these short sellers that are still in here, they're going to start buying. And just like there's a quick move down, there's a quick move up right in this same zone. And that's the reason these shorts who didn't get out down here, who were holding out for larger profits, and there's always some. You would think people would get out here, but there's always some. And boom, we come up to here. And now that, why did I choose 23.6 fib? Okay, and 23.6 fib is right at 2.0034 here, and I told you to get out at 2.0030. Well, why did I tell you to get out 4 pips prior to the target? Well, a couple of reasons. One is due to the spread, and the spread differs among various brokers, but it's going to be between probably 2 and 5 pips on average. And so we many times price will fall just short of support or resistance within the range of the spread. So that's just to be safe. And also, now here we get up to our real structure. Now Fibonacci, if we were to consider the market structure as a body, the Fibonacci support and resistance levels, they would be like muscle, but the price, the highs and lows, the tops and bottoms, they would be like the bones on the skeleton. And so what we have here is we have a prior top here, and the prior top, you know, is always going to be resistance. Typically price will bounce off of it and then if it's going to break through, then it'll break through. But and sometimes it'll blow through. But I'm talking about in the majority of cases, we'll get some kind of bounce back off of here. But this is the true resistance level. This is the bone, and this is the range from the Fibonacci to this top here. That's our range of resistance. So we have a composite. The resistance is composed of a composite material, so we have a double resistance level here, which even further tells us that price should pull back, should bounce off of here before continuing. But we never know. But we're playing probability here. And now let's jump ahead to the next bar, the bar that closed us for the day. And as to be expected, it turned a little bit on, bounced a little bit off of the double resistance level here that we have here. And now see, when I think of the market as a body, as I've said, I think of price support, actual price highs and lows, as the bones on the skeleton, so to speak. And I look at secondary support and resistance levels like Fibonacci and floor pivots, as I look at those more like muscles in the market body. And I look at volume as being the internal organ, or a heart, like your heart and kidneys of the market. And then I look at other indicators, such as, for instance, our MFI. I may use stochastics, I may use some moving averages, and I look at those as just finishing off the body with skin, nails, fingernails, and hair, pretty much to look at the market as a living body, and how I try to incorporate what's going on in the market and relate it to a living organism. And see, basically, if you start to think outside of the box, you will be able to explain everything, and I mean everything, that happens in the market. And see, one of the first steps to being able to predict or project in advance is to know why something occurred. If you know why, then you can work your way backwards, and you work your way backwards, and you will be able to project onto the why. And let me give you an example of what I mean here. I mean, here we have the bar that really shot us up here occurred at 2200 GMT, or 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at the close of the U.S. market. Most days the market does nothing during this time. Okay, basically this is stop hunt time during at the beginning or just before the Asian session. And but we look down here, and we should understand that most day traders are getting out of the market or closing out their positions at this time of the trading day, because day traders with a little bit of experience know that this is stop hunt time, and they don't want to hold that position overnight. But then, so we look down here at the MFI, and we see that this is a public bar. Wow. And this is just what I'm talking about right now. This is just a little FYI, just to get you to start thinking about the market in different ways. But this is a public bar. Now, why is this a public bar at this time of day, and why is this move so large? Most public day traders, they're out of the market. The pros and the day traders most of the time. So what? Now this move occurred. I need to understand it, because if I don't understand what happened here, I'm a little trepid about projecting something later on down here. But now I already know that these are short sellers here. And the only short sellers that are going to be looking to save their position here and to at least break even on this move back up because they didn't get out here, they're going to be retail traders. They're not going to be, there's not going to be one single professional trader, hedge fund operator or whatever that's still short from this area here when price moves back up to this area. Okay, so now all of these retail or public traders here, the herd, they have their break-even stops starting from here all the way up here. This is stop hunt session. This is stop hunt time. Okay, all these stops are triggered on the way up, and that forced price to rise here. So now I understand why that move occurred when it did and the way it did. Okay, but I already projected that way down here, that if it got to this point, this is probably what would happen. And this is what I mean by thinking outside of the box and thinking counterintuitive.